Good morning students. Today we will start a new chapter, chapter 2, early humans. Early means beginning. Early humans mean humans in the beginning. Stages of evolution. Stages means steps. Evolution means changes in features or characteristics of living being over several generations. The changes in the features or characteristics of living being over several generation or generation after generation. So the changes which come in living being in the physical in the feature or characteristic of living being generation after generation is known as evolution. Human beings had passed through several stages of evolution before attaining their present form and size. The earliest human beings were known as hominids. So we human being have gone through many changes that we have got. Then we have got today's form and size. So we have gone through many steps, several or many steps of evolution. Then we have attained or got present form and size. The earliest human beings were known as hominids. So the earliest men, the men who were living in the human beings who were living in the beginning were known as hominids. Hominids learned to walk erect over a period of time. These human beings were called Homo erectus. They were hunter and gatherers. They knew use of fire and ate wild fruits and raw flesh of animals. In the beginning, hominids were walking on four legs just like animals, but afterwards they learned to walk on two legs, that is, they learned to walk erect. And when they learned to walk erect, they were called as Homo erectus. Homo erectus were hunters. They were hunting animals for raw flesh, and they were also gatherers means they were collecting wild fruits from the forest in order to fill their stomachs. They were also knowing the use of fire. They also knew the use of fire. They were aware of fire, and they were using fire for different purposes. Homo erectus men traveled from Africa to different continents and developed various physical changes according to the climate and environmental condition of those places. The Java men, Peking men, and Heidelburg men were living in Indonesia, China, and Germany, respectively. So, when human erectus traveled from Africa, they wandered and traveled from Africa to different continents, and when they moved to different continents, there they adapted different environmental conditions and climate. So they developed many new physical features, and thus they were called by different names: Java men of Indonesia, Peking men of China, and Heidelberg men of Germany. So when they moved from Africa to other continents, they adopted different environmental condition, and various physical changes developed in them, and thus they were called by different names like Java men of Indonesia, Peking men of China, and Heidelberg men of Germany. Java men belonged to Indonesia. They were 165 centimeter tall with a small brain and were more similar to apes. They knew how to make stone tools. And Java men were living in Indonesia, and they were 165 centimeter tall. Their height was 165 centimeter, and they were having a small brain, and they were very closely related to apes, today's apes. They were very closely related to today's apes, and they were knowing how to make tools out of stones. So they were also knowing the art of making tools out of stones. The Peking men lived in the cave of China and could stand more upright than Java men. They knew use of fire and the art of making stone tools. So the Peking men who were living in the caves of China, they were also knowing about fire. They were also knowing about the use of fire, and they were also aware of the art of making stone tools. So they were also making a stone tool just like Java men of Indonesia. The Heidelberg men lived in Germany. They had a larger brain. They were the first to develop power of speech in the world. So the Java men who were living in the Heidelberg men who lived in Germany were having large brain. Their brain was large, and they were the first to develop power of speech or the language in the world. So they were the Heidelberg men were the first men to develop power of speech or the language in the world. The Homo erectus men developed into modern men around 40,000 years ago. Then modern men were referred to as Homo sapiens, Latin wise men. After 40,000 years, these Homo erectus developed into Homo sapiens, which are wise men or modern men like us. So Homo sapiens are modern men like us. We are Homo sapiens. Our scientific name is Homo sapiens, which means wise men. That's all for today, children. In the next video, we will continue the topic. Thank you.